What's up, family? Man, I bless each and every one of you. May God continue to guide you, comfort you, and aid you in your growth and development, as well as the healing stages of your life. Family, man, it is what it is. You know what I mean? We have to grow up. We have to grow up emotionally. And that sucks. You know what I mean? It's painful, it's hard, it's challenging. But it's the reason why we came here. To go through all the hell that we had to go through all the hell that we're gonna go through in the future, but not just to go through it, but to grow through it as well. We have to grow through all the hell and the pain and the trauma that we go through. And it is what it is. You know, you guys that follow me for a minute, you know that I really don't follow Sean Combs, P. Diddy, whatever his freaking name is, you know what I mean? I don't follow these people. I'm not a fan of these people. You know what I mean? Again, I'm from California. I'm 54 years old. You know what I mean? I grew up in that East Coast, West Coast shit, you know, where I didn't give a fuck about the East Coast. And again, to each their own, I had to grow through this shit. I had to grow up. You know what I mean? And that being said, you know, it's a whole lot of talk about what's going on with him. Again, if you followed me for a minute, back in January, I was telling you, he's going to crash this year. He's going down this year. You know what I mean? And again, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And it's not just him. It's going to be a whole lot of other people. And it's a trip because so many people, you know, we're like bandwagon jumpers, you know what I mean? We see something and man, it's like, oh man, everybody in love with Sean Combs, you know what I mean? When he's powerful, when he has access to his money, you know what I mean? As soon as you know, for years, especially in the black community, we've been hearing about different things that he's been tied to, different things that he's been doing, you know, that wasn't cool, you know what I mean? But for whatever reason, we give people a pass when we like them. You know what I mean? We don't want to think that certain people of certain statuses, you know, are capable of doing such devastating things to other people. Stay with me. We're going somewhere today, I promise you. We don't want to think that's capable, you know, that they're capable of doing that. There's no way that these people are saying, no, they're just haters and they're just jealous and da-da-da-da. And we have all these, we'll attack the people who's putting out all this information. We'll attack the people who's saying all these negative things about these individuals that we put up on this, we put up on this pedestal. And we don't want to believe that our heroes, that the people that we idolize, the people we look up to, the people we want to be like, we don't want to ever stop and think that they're capable of such negative, toxic ass shit, that they're capable of causing so much pain and suffering in the world. We're going there today. We're going there. And then some of you ain't gonna like it. Some of you gonna get triggered, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? This is a spiritual boot camp. This is why we're here. This is why this platform's here, to help us deal with our shit. You know what I mean? To help us look at the man and the woman in the mirror and like, damn, I got some shit I gotta deal with still. I don't give a fuck how much I'm able to help other people. I got some shit I gotta deal with still. And there's not a motherfucker walking the planet that can't say that. Every single one of us has some shit we have to deal with. This again, I've never been a fan of P. Diddy. I've never been a fan of really the East Coast rap. You know what I mean? And so something happened about 5-6 months ago. I saw a picture of Sean Combs. And when I saw it, I saw my father. So again, I'm 54 years old, getting ready to be 55 in a few months. I saw a picture of Sean Combs. And I saw my father. And those of you know that, man, I'm not, my father's been dead since 2018. My father and I didn't have a great relationship. Again, my father murdered my mother right in front of me when I was 2 years old. And I hated my father. And I wanted to kill my father. But when I saw this picture of Sean Combs, and I was able to look at it, something about his eyes. And when I saw him, I saw my father. And I was like, God, what the hell is that about? And what God had to show me is Elijah, Sean has that same spirit in him that your daddy did. Oh, we're going there today. This is going to be rough for some of you. Some of you ain't going to accept this, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? We got to grow the fuck up emotionally. And what God had to show me was, Elijah, some people came to this planet just to cause pain and suffering. Some people came to this planet just to put other people through fucking hell. Some people came to this planet not to grow the fuck up. Some people came to this planet not because they want to grow and develop and be all that they're capable of being. Some people came to this motherfucking planet to be as toxic, as negative, as destructive as they could. Why? Because the people's lives that they were going to affect, those people had to go through what they had to go through. Why? So that they could grow through what they went through. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, time out, God. Time out. He said, Elijah, your daddy came to this planet and he caused hell from the time he came out the womb to the time that he passed away. Your daddy went through a lot of shit, but your daddy caused so much pain and suffering in the lives of others. And he caused that pain and suffering in the lives of others so that those individuals could have their quote unquote come to Jesus moment, so that those people could sit there and have their nervous breakdown and their suicidal thoughts and their dark nights of the soul and go through all of the pain and suffering that they went through. Why? So that they could grow the fuck up emotionally, so that they can heal and become capable and able to speak life and wisdom and love and all these other things into the lives of others. Had they not gone through what they went through, they wouldn't have the knowledge and the wisdom that they have. Had they not suffered the way they did, they wouldn't be as loving and compassionate as they are. Had they not suffered the way that they are, they wouldn't be as nurturing as they are. We got to grow the fuck up. The problem with the great majority of us, we never become as loving and nurturing as capable that we're capable of being. Why? Because we hold on to this victim mentality. The great majority of us are never capable of walking in our purpose, walking in our power, walking in our authority, of being all that we're capable of being. Why? Because we've been so broken, so victimized, and we have that victim mentality. We have this mindset that I'm weak, I'm vulnerable, I can't do this, I can't do this, and I'm not strong enough, I'm not big enough, I'm not powerful enough, and all this other stupid, ignorant ass bullshit. And until you grow the fuck up and deal with your shit and understand who the fuck you are, you're never going to have the power that you came here to have. You're never going to walk in the authority that you came here to have. And what God had to show me about my father was that, Elijah, your father came here so that you and others can hate him so much. Your father came here to be the epic bad guy in your life, to be the greatest villain in your life, to help you on your journey. See, when you look at superheroes, when you look at the hero's journey, and you look at all these people that have gone on to become great people as far as superheroes and all these other things, you know what I mean? They've all had to face a monster. You look at all the great epic stories. They've all had to face a monster. They've all had to face some type of demon. Something that was bigger and more powerful for them, so they thought in the beginning. But it wasn't until after they faced their monster, it wasn't until after they found the courage to go through the fucking war and the battles that they did, that they began to walk in their authority. They began to walk in their power. God had to show me, Elijah, this is what you're doing. This is what you're going through. This is what other chosen ones are going through. Right now, it don't seem like it. It seems like you're weak. It seems like you ain't got the power, the ability to beat this person. It don't seem like you have the power, the ability to overcome this person, to overcome this obstacle, to overcome the hell that you've gone through. Because you have given your power away. So, you're going to keep going through shit. As bad as it is, you're going to keep going through shit until you get to the place in your life where you get sick and tired. You get fed up of the bullshit, and enough is enough, motherfucking enough. You know what I mean? You're sick and tired of the bullshit. I'm not dealing with this bullshit no more. I'm not gonna be everybody's fucking doormat no more. I'm not gonna allow motherfuckers to just keep jacking me and robbing me and just depleting me of my energy and my hard-earned money and whatever the fuck it is. I'm not gonna allow these motherfuckers to keep disrespecting me and talking down to me like I ain't shit, ignoring me and invalidating me and dismissing me and minimizing my account. I'm not gonna allow these motherfuckers this pass anymore. You can't just do what the fuck you want to me. You can't just say what the fuck you want to me and get away with this shit. And I just sit there and I'm just going through life and I'm just, God, this is not fair, and God, get them. And then, nah, motherfucker, enough of the bullshit. Enough of the bullshit. We got to grow the fuck up. We've got to grow the fuck up. What God had to show me is Elijah, the person who's brought you the greatest pain. And this is what we need to understand today. When you look at Sean Combs, Donald Trump, anybody else that you want to label as a bad guy, anybody else you want to label as a villain in your life, whether it's your daddy, your mama, your sister, your brother, your ex-husband, your ex-wife, your girlfriend, your baby mama, it don't fucking matter who the villain is. Whoever it is that caused you the greatest motherfucking pain, whoever it was that caused you the greatest suffering, they came here to teach you who you are. They came here to show you the power that you possess. They came here to show you the authority that you have. Yeah, that's a hard lesson for us. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to talk about that shit. We want to just keep blaming them for what they did. We want to just keep blaming them for them making us distrustful. We want to just distrusting of others. We want to just keep blaming them for taking our peace. We want to just keep blaming them for taking our joy. We want to just keep blaming them for taking our fucking happiness. We want to just keep blaming them for taking our fucking innocence. We want to just keep blaming them for every fucking thing that's gone wrong in our fucking life. It's because we don't know any better. Because we're not walking in the power that we came here to walk in. We're not walking in the authority that we came here to walk in. We don't have the wisdom and understanding that we think we do. And I know we don't want to hear this shit. You know what I mean? And again, it is what it is. You got to grow the fuck up emotionally. You got to grow the fuck up. And so, what God had to show me was, Elijah, look at what your daddy did to you. He didn't just do this to you. He did so much to others. And it's not that God was putting my father down. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. It's not that he was making my dad out to be a bad guy. See, what we fail to realize is that we have soul contracts with certain people, certain spirits, certain entities. Again, I know we don't like talking about this because we just want to be the fucking victim. We want to just keep blaming the world and life for happening to us, instead of growing the fuck up and understanding that everything is happening for us, not to us. It's a different mindset. It's a different understanding. It's a different frequency. Life. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. And so, when I sat there and I looked at my father, looked back over my father's life, even when I was like younger and I was raising my kids, every decision that I would come to, I would ask, what would my father do? My father would do woo-do. Okay, fuck that motherfucker. I'm gonna do woo-do over here. You know, I'm gonna do it totally different. I'm gonna do something the complete opposite of what my father would do. I didn't understand because I didn't have a good father figure growing up. And so I didn't understand that my father, in his way of being, was showing me how not to be. My father, through his violence, my father, through his anger, my father, through the way that he was, showed me, Elijah, you gotta be loving. Elijah, you gotta be understanding. Elijah, you gotta be nurturing. Elijah, you gotta be compassionate. Elijah, you gotta be giving. Elijah, you gotta be present and accounted for. You gotta be there. You have to be there. And don't just be there, be present. I didn't understand. You know, as a young man growing up, I blamed my father for my anger. I blamed my father for my rage. What God had shown me as I grew and began to understand who my father was in my life and why my father was the way that he was in my life. And what I had to grow up and understand was, wait a minute. I've always looked at my father as the greatest fucking villain. I've always looked at my father as the bad guy, and that's why I want to kill him. Truth be told, my father was a teacher. He taught me how I did not want to live my life. He taught me how I did not want to have an impact on the lives of others. He taught me that, man, I wanted to be totally different. I wanted to be different. And in the process of being different, I wanted to be, not understanding, I wanted to be all that I came here to be. I wanted to walk in my purpose, walk in my power, walk in the authority that I had. But I didn't understand that hating my father. It wasn't until I began to grow up emotionally and understand, because I always looked at my father. My father fucked up my life. My father put me on this trajectory of pain and suffering and trauma. My father fucked up everything. Because this is my mentality as a young man, because had not my father murdered my mama, man, I would have never went to stay with my aunt. Had I never went to go stay with my aunt, I would have never had to deal with her verbally abusive nature. I would have never had to deal with her constantly tearing me down emotionally, psychologically, and telling me how stupid and dumb I was, telling me how I was damned to hell. I would have never been in this situation had not my father murdered my mother. I would have never been in this situation being molested by those Christian dudes at church and at home, in my aunt's house. Had my father not did what he did, my life would have been totally different. This is how I saw my life. And what God had to show me was Elijah. Elijah, you're missing it. Elijah, you're missing it. Because your father did whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, because your father did da-da-da-da-da, that put you on the trajectory that you're on. You thought you were on the trajectory of suffering and pain and hell and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. You didn't understand. You couldn't see the bigger picture. You couldn't understand the growth and development that was going to take place in your life. You didn't understand, nor did you foresee the knowledge and wisdom that you would have after going through all the pain and suffering you went through. You couldn't understand. You couldn't foresee the amount of lives you would impact in a positive, loving, nurturing way. Because of the stuff that you've gone through. Because of the pain and the hell that was inflicted on your life. Look how it's molded you. Look how it's shaped you. Look at the lives that are positively impacted. Look at the lives that have been changed and the people that have been growing through the process of the shit that they've gone through because of you speaking into their lives. Look at the lives of the people all over the world that have heard one of your videos, that have had a coaching and mentoring session. Look at the lives of all the kids that you positively impacted. Why? Because you understand the pain and the hell that they were going through. And you didn't want them to suffer like you suffered. And so you tried to show them a different way. You gave them hope when they had no fucking hope. You inspired them when they were suicidal. That goes back to your daddy too. That goes back to your daddy too. That goes back to those guys that molested you too. Because had they not did all of that shit, you wouldn't be all that you are now. And if you're not all that you are now, you wouldn't have impacted, and you wouldn't be impacting the lives that you are now. Don't just give them credit for the pain and suffering. Through it all. I know it's hard getting to a place to where you can forgive these people for causing you so much pain. I know it's hard getting to a place emotionally and spiritually to where you can love these people in spite of all of the pain and hell that they put on your life. I know it's hard loving these people who've abandoned you and rejected you and left you for dead. but can you love them still? See, you guys have heard me talk about, man, coming to New York for this young lady. And man, going through what we went through and experiencing the pain and the hopelessness and the frustration and the anger and the disappointment and the pain and the suffering of being abandoned and rejected and just thrown away. Or somebody just tossing you away, not giving a fuck what happens to you, not giving a fuck where you got, if you got somewhere to sleep, not giving a fuck if you got somewhere to lay your head or somewhere to clean up, but somewhere to eat, not giving a fuck anything about you. And you love this person so much, and they cause you so much pain and suffering, so much embarrassment, so much humiliation. It's easy to be the victim. It's easy to be the victim. It's easy to stay in the place of hatred and animosity and bitterness and all that other toxic shit. I'm pouring me some tea. And so, this young lady that I came to see, this young lady that I came to be with here in New York, that I loved. Oh, God help me. Truth be told, that I still love. Even though she put me through so much fucking pain and suffering, I still love her. And what God had to show me is, Elijah, can you love those who've caused you pain? Can you love those who fucked you up? Can you love those who've abandoned you and rejected you and dogged you the fuck out? Can you still love them? And in the beginning, you can't. You know what I mean? In the beginning, yeah, you still got love for him, but man, fuck this bitch, fuck this motherfucker. You guys already know I had a for my father. You know what I mean? Fuck that motherfucker. I was done. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. It's just a process that we have to go through. A process of, man, I want them to feel my fucking pain and da-da-da-da and da-da-da. I want my fucking get back. And we go through that process. There's stages to healing. There's stages to our growth and development. And we gotta grow the fuck up and understand this. You don't go from wanting being abandoned and rejected and kicked to the curb and just hungry and homeless and all this other shit. You don't go through this shit and then the next day be like, yeah, I love this person and God bless this person. Nah, motherfucker, it's a process that you gotta go through. It's a process you gotta grow through. It's a process. And the process is, after you grow through what you've gone through, to get to a place emotionally where you can sit back and say like, damn, because I've gone through all this shit, I didn't realize. I knew I was a strong person, having gone through all the hell that I've gone through my back, but I didn't realize, because at this point I was so done. At this point, I've been through so much pain, so much suffering. At this point, it's like, man, fuck it, why try? And what God had to show me was, Elijah, you have to go through that shit. You have to grow through that shit. There's still some shit, some residue that you've been holding on with being abandoned. There's still some residue that you've been holding on. We've been rejected. Going all the way back to your mama dying. Going all the way back to your daddy rejecting you. And so when this young lady was at 23, March 18, 23, when she did what she did, it was a great trigger to all of that shit. Spoke into the lives of so many, helped so many. There was a mentor and a coach to so many, doing all these things. But there's still some residue that I was holding on to. There was still some stuff that I hadn't quite yet let go of. And so God had to show me, Elijah, you have to go through this shit. I know it fucked you up. I know it crushed your spirit. But look at you now. Look at you now. You got that smile back. Look at you now. You got that glow back. Look at you now. You thought that was going to fuck your career up and da-da-da-da-da. And look at you now. You're better off now financially than you were when you were with her. Look at you now. Look at your career now. Your career's better off now than it was when you were with her. And that's not saying she was a bad person. I'm not saying she was an evil person. We have to grow up. We have to understand everything that we've gone through. We gotta grow through. Everything that we've gone through, we gotta sit back and, okay, what's the lesson? How is this? And you don't understand this at that time. You just gotta keep living it. You just gotta keep moving forward. I didn't understand how I was going to make it out of the pain and the hell that I was going through with this young lady. I didn't know how I was going to come out of this. I didn't know what was going to happen to my job. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. We got to grow up. We have to grow up. And you will grow up and you'll understand, man, it's all good. It's all good. And you guys have heard me say that a lot. Man, everything is always working out for me. You know, the Bible says it's different. The Bible says all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and called according to his purpose. All things, everything is always working out for me. And it's hard to understand and see how everything's always working out when you're in the middle of the hell, when you're in the middle of being abandoned and rejected and kicked to the curb, and you're hungry and you're homeless and da-da-da. It's hard to see how everything is always working out for you. I'm living witness. I'm living proof. I'm living proof. And when you grow through it, you can sit back and look over it and like, damn, I see. I understand now. I understand why I had to go through that. I understand. And because I understand why I had to experience that, the lessons I was supposed to learn from that, how can I look at that person with disdain? How can I look at that person with hatred, with animosity, with bitterness? with ill intent. Nah, I'm humbled and I'm grateful for that person. I'm grateful for the experience of the pain and the suffering. I'm grateful for the lessons. I'm grateful for the wisdom that I've gained from going through what I went through. And so I'm thankful for that person doing what they did. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for them. And because I'm thankful and grateful, I still love them. You end up loving them more. If the truth be told. I love my father more now than I ever have in my life. This young lady that I just went through all this stuff with last year, I love her more now than I ever have. Why? Because I gained the wisdom. I gained the knowledge and the understanding of some shit that I was holding on to, that I was able to let go of because of the pain and the suffering that she put me through. Because of the school, the class that she put me through. We gotta grow the fuck up emotionally and understand this. They took you to school. They took you to school. And it fucked you up. Initially. Catch that. It fucked you up initially. But because you've done the work, because you were willing to do the work of healing and growing up emotionally, the greater end, your latter end, is greater, so much greater than how you started out, than how you went into the process. You're so much more blessed. You have so much more peace and happiness and understanding and wisdom and joy than you had before you even went into that situation. You're blessed financially, so much more so than you were before. These are the rewards for dealing with the work. These are the rewards for going through the hell that you went through. Not just going through, but for growing through it. For growing through it. And so as we bring it back to Diddy, I don't know him personally, or Sean Combs, I don't know him personally. I understand that he's caused a lot of people pain and suffering. I don't look at him as somebody that I judge, you know what I mean? Because I'm not in the business of judging anybody. I don't look at him in the business of looking down on him. He's here, and he's, from what they say, he's allegedly caused these people so much pain and suffering. My hope and prayer is that these people don't get stuck in the victimhood, that they don't get stuck in feeling powerless, that they don't get stuck in that hell that they experienced. Whatever it is that you've gone through, my hope and prayer is that you don't get stuck being a fucking victim. You don't get stuck in the hell that you experienced, but that you grow through it emotionally. And in the process of growing through it emotionally, your light shines that much brighter. It shines far brighter than it did before you even met that person. Your love is so much deeper than it was before you even met that person. The knowledge and wisdom and understanding you have is so much deeper than it was before you even met that person. That's the rewards for your suffering. Look at the lives you're able to touch, the lives you're able to impact, the lives you're able to inspire because of the pain and suffering you endured, because of the trauma you went through, because of the hell you've experienced. Now that you've grown through that, your beacon of light is shining. Now that you've grown through that, you're now a beacon of hope, a beacon of love, a beacon of courage. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. Man, hope and pray that I said something to encourage you, to inspire you, or to even challenge your way of thinking. Namaste. The God in me, the love in me, the light in me, the wisdom in me sees, recognizes the God, the love, the light, the wisdom in each and every one of you. Happy healing, family. Peace.